wisdom teachers, gentle healers, and bold leaders of our global awakening. Welcome to the Joshua Jordan Experience. Listen to gather mystical insights for an extraordinary life. Hello. Do you have feelings that you judge to be bad or wrong? Do you have feelings that you tend to deny? Perhaps when you were a child, someone shamed you for how you felt. I know I heard things like, boys don't cry, and Christians don't get angry, and tell your sister you're sorry, even if that isn't how you were feeling. These are common behaviors, and today I want to share with you the value of our feelings and the value of inner peace. And of course, Joshua will speak. There are some key points I want to touch upon, and the first is this. Feelings are a magnetic component of our personal power. And the other point is emotions and emotional awareness are a crucial part of our global awakening. And also, owning our feelings is the way to inner peace. You know, I feel how I feel when I feel it. I'm going to repeat that. I feel how I feel when I feel it. It wasn't always that way for me. In fact, I remember a story when I was a teenager, which was 50 years ago, more than that. And I was having a heated argument with my oldest sister. And during that argument, at some point, she said words that I found to be like she was putting shame on me. And she said, "You don't have to get so angry." And I pounded my fist on the table and I snarled out at her, "I'm not angry." And I know that broke the tension in our argument. We both had to laugh, as that was an outright denial of how I was feeling and behaving. And I have come a very long way since then. As a role model for our global awakening, we are creating a planet at peace, filled with compassion and love, with joy and happiness, and an abundance of everything for everyone. And in order to bring this world about, we must begin within. Begin within. That is the only place of power where I can make change. So I begin within, creating within myself, of course, peace, compassion, love, joy, happiness, and this idea that there's plenty of everything for everyone. So we begin within. However, something that occurred in the New Age community, the New Thought leaders, at some point decided to divide our feelings into what were positive feelings and negative feelings. What feelings are good and what feelings are bad. And this all became tied up in something called the law of attraction. Do you remember The Secret? How they talked about how important it was to have good feelings. Anyone who teaches the law of attraction teaches this idea of high frequency feelings and low frequency feelings, etc. Now I grasp the good intentions of the law of attraction. And of course, it feels good to feel good. We'd all love to feel good all of the time. And yet, that is not the design of our human experience. However, during learning the law of attraction, some people got the idea that they could shun, repress, deny, or outright clear themselves of ever having what they called or judged to be bad feelings. Have you ever had someone tell you, "I never get angry"? And I think, oh my goodness, what a limited range of feelings you must have. So, unfortunately, this idea that there are good feelings, bad feelings, positive feelings, negative feelings leads to an internal schism in human nature. You see, we taught that bad feelings couldn't bring about bad results, and nobody wants that. So I want to tell you this. Whenever we have an emotion that we refuse expression or refuse to experience, we are creating a bigger shadow. You see, we all have shadow. And that which is denied about our whole self and our whole being gets pushed into shadow, shall we say. Now, I teach a lot more about shadow in future videos. I won't go into it much today, but do be aware that any time you are in denial about how you feel or what you're thinking, you are creating a bigger shadow. And shadow always comes to light in time. So feel your feelings to the best of your ability. You see, the battle within us about what feelings are good and what feelings are bad actually creates internal conflict. Internal conflict in the mass consciousness leaks out on the global stage as conflict and fear. So even though it's a personal battle between what I consider to be good and bad feelings, I really am creating conflict in my personal, local, and global reality. You see, it really is the fear of our feelings, our fear of having a so-called bad feeling that feeds our shadow self. Emotions are constantly in motion. Look at the word, motion. Energy in movement, energy in motion. Our emotions energize us, and they fulfill us, and they teach us. So energy is constantly in motion, emotion. So if I allow my feelings to move like the waves upon the shore, they come in and they go out. They come and they go. What I want to do is not get stuck. Now, some people do get stuck in a very limited range of feeling, only allowing themselves a small scope of feelings because they have deemed those feelings to be safe. So these feelings are safe if I want to create winning the lottery, or these feelings are safe if I don't want to feel afraid, or these feelings are safe so people will think I'm a good person, whatever it is. That for some reason, some people get stuck in a limited range of emotion. There are even some people that get stuck in creating a life filled with anger energy. That as long as they feel angry, they feel powerful. They don't feel vulnerable. So they stir up their anger energy all the time to keep themselves from feeling afraid, having fear. Some people get stuck in a limited range of feeling around sorrow or sadness. Actually, they will define those feelings as safe for them to have because they won't be disappointed or hurt. So, observing our thoughts and feelings is the only way to increase the scope and range of our emotions. You see, to get unstuck from a limited range of feelings takes mindfulness. And no one accidentally developed mindfulness. It does take a bit of effort in the beginning to observe my constant thoughts and feelings. And then that becomes a habit. So, yes, attention is required if you want to move from a limited scope of feelings into the full spectrum of feelings allowed within our whole self. Now, making peace within begins by embracing all of my feelings. To be at peace within, I need to accept that all of my feelings have a reason for being. All of my feelings are valid, even the ones that are uncomfortable. Yeah, it feels good to feel good. When I feel good, I don't need to analyze why am I feeling this way. However, we want to be mindful of our feelings so that we can determine how to make changes in our life that lead to a pattern of total oneness and fulfillment. So I graciously accept that my feelings exist for a reason and they are valid, and that ends the war within me. I don't have to judge. Is this a good feeling, bad feeling, positive or negative? I don't care. I feel how I feel when I feel it without judgment and without shame. I want to encourage you to do the same. Feel how you feel when you feel it, without judging if it's a good or bad feeling, without being afraid that maybe these bad feelings are creating bad vibes and I'm attracting bad stuff. That fear only feeds the shadow. And in shadow, those feelings grow. The other way to inner peace is owning my feelings, knowing that only I have the power to choose what I feel. I actually find it comical when I hear someone say, she made me mad, or he hurt my feelings. The truth is, she got mad over something you did. She is in charge of how she feels. He got hurt over something you said. You didn't hurt him, but he felt hurt about something you did. We can go into more detail about that some of the time, but in order to be in inner peace, I own my feelings. I feel how I feel when I feel it, and no one can make me feel how I feel, including no one can make me happy except for me. So I have power over all my emotions, and I do not suppress, deny any of my feelings' full expression. Now I am going to move aside and allow Joshua to speak to you today, and that will take just a moment for me to make that shift, and then I'll do a summary and conclude the video. Hello, beloved ones. What we are speaking about today has great value in integrating as a whole being your entire range of emotion, from the heights of the most delightful sensations of bliss to the depths of grief and loss. You see, all of these motions, feelings, emotions are within the scope of your whole being. To be whole and total, you want to know the entire scope without limitation, without deciding if some feelings are worthy of me, without deciding if some feelings might be causing me to attract something I don't want. Dwelling on what I don't want is what creates what I don't want. I just want to tell you to allow yourself to feel your whole scope of feelings. You see, because to the very heights you can go, you also know those depths. You see, in having the entire scope of emotion is important if you are a teacher, healer, and leader of our new age, because it is empathy you are creating. To be empathetic with those going through grief, sorrow, loss. You need to know what it is like to feel those feelings. And if you are in denial of those feelings and pretend they don't exist within you, you are missing out on an important element of your empathy toward humankind. I also experience empathy with the people of the earth, with the humankind that I love so deeply. Yes, I feel your feelings. I know your joys and I know your heartbreak. I know you. And I have studied human existence so that I may have the greatest empathy and compassion for you in whatever energy you are manifesting in the moment. I want to remind you I am here to serve you. You do not need to wait for Jordan to bring me into your presence. Call me, and I will help you. This is my promise. So thank you for your kind attention. I'm going to move aside and allow Jordan to wrap up our message for today. I do part with these words. I encourage you to let the light grow, let love show, and may your life be fun. Above all, be true to you. Good day. Yeah. There. Well, that was kind of Joshua to share his experience and share some thoughts with us about being whole and having our whole range of feelings. So, in summary, I do just want to point out that the law of attraction has very good intentions for us. And yet, be cautious about deciding if there are emotions that are creating bad juju or if I have feelings that are not good for me. You see, this creation that we are doing, this deciding what emotions or feelings are good or bad, creates internal conflict. And conflict leaks out into our broad reality. And as peacemakers, we are trying to resolve conflict and remove it from causing us to stumble in our human interactions. So, peacemakers, wisdom teachers, powerful healers, and bold leaders of change, feel how you feel when you feel it, without shame or without guilt. Own your feelings, knowing that only you have the power to determine how you feel. We embrace all of our feelings and we show others how to be whole and to live in peace. Thank you for listening. We hope you heard something to ponder and gained inspiration for your journey. Please join us again next time. Joshua says, let the light grow, let love show, and let your life be fun.